Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. We welcome you to our online session, Ekalavya. The topic is socialism in Europe and the Russian Revolution. You have enjoyed the previous part about the socialism in Europe. Now, today's topic you will be concentrating on Russian Revolution and socialism in Russia. So, let us see what all were the conditions that made revolution to occur in Russia. So, the contents are, today you will be learning about Russian Revolution related to the economy and society, socialism in Russia, the Russian Socialist Democratic Labour Party, division of Bolsheviks and Mensheviks, the 1905 revolution and the Bloody Sunday. So, before we go to the details of the Russian Revolution, let us recap about how the socialism made to be spread in Europe, that was taught in the previous part, that how the ideologists were thinking about the socialism as an idea to help the society to be in equality position. There was a wide gap between the rich and the poor and various kind of differences. So, they wanted individual status to be occurred and brought in, and also certain changes. So, always revolution means change to be brought, and actually society will be motivated by some changes. It is not going to be stagnant as it. So, changes are to be occurred naturally, and this happens when people start thinking. So, there were ideologies to think about socialism, and you learned various socialistic ideologies propounded by great theorists like Karl Marx and any other theorists who you had enjoyed to know, like Louis Blanc, etc. He propounded about the cooperative system, and Karl Marx was a propounder about the communism. So, let us see how this socialism came in to Russia. But before learning about socialism in Russia, we have to know about the Russian Empire and who was the ruler and what was the condition occurred there. So, as per the Russian Empire, this person, as you can see out of his outfit, you can learn that he was a king or Tsar Nicholas II, who was ruler of the empire, and he was ruling in 1914, Tsar Nicholas, and he had Russia as a country accommodated with other territories, and it was a big empire. And let us forego about how the Russian people were occupied with their occupation and how was the social condition. The first one is economy and society of this empire. So, Russian population, you have to know that they were based upon the activity primary, that is agriculture, and this agriculture made them to be prosperous. So, you have to know that the Russian Empire was prosperous, and you can see that their occupation was agriculturist. So, industries were only in clusters. 85% were the people occupied in agriculture, and industries were only set up in few places, and they were owned by private individuals. You know what is privatism. Whatever was produced were enjoyed by the owners. Their profits were not shared by the laborers who were the contributor. Now, workers were divided into groups, but they did not unite to strike, and they were dissatisfied with the living conditions. So, this was the situation. That was one of the reasons to become a big issue later to give the importance for socialism. So peasants had no respect in Russian Empire. Nobility were unlike the French peasants who were thinking about themselves great, and they were not respecting the common man or the farmers. Russian peasants were the only peasant community which brought the land together, who means bringing together collection of land amongst their compatriots and sharing the profit. So cooperative was followed by earlier itself in Russia, and socialistic way of life they led. So that's why the peasants were called as natural socialists. They were natural socialists. They were not taught, they were not guided by any ideologists, but they themselves were living such life. So all the peasants joined together, collected the land annually and produced and shared the profits. So the ideologists in Russia thought that peasants of Russian Empire were natural socialists. So this you are learning from this topic, Russian Revolution. So now socialism in Russia. So before going to the depth of socialism, how it emerged in Russia, as you learned socialism in Europe, that was the main roots. From those roots only this spread in Russia. Now socialistic ideas were already naturally there in Russia. But before that, Russian Empire, some kind of ideas you have to know, that how the empire was. Actually Russian Empire was heterogeneity. It was accommodating many communities, Islam community or Christianity. So all types of religious communities were there, accommodated. Traditional Orthodox Christianity, Roman Catholics, all these were accommodated, including Islamic. So modern Islamic reformers were there already in Russia who wanted to bring changes in Russia. And the way the Tsar was behaving towards the people's situation was not at all positive later times. Though it helped earlier times, but later as the changes occurred in society due to industrialization, Tsar's kind of ruling was not at all helpful, and people wanted to have certain change, and that's why it gave socialism in Russia a place to emerge and establish. So let us see what are the other conditions that made people to approach the revolution for socialism to be established. So all political parties, you can see that, were illegal in Russia. As you know that autocracy was in Russia and Tsar was having all the power in his hand. So he was deciding, and he never bothered about the constitution or the parliament. He did not encourage, and he never bothered about the people's situation. So this political parties also he restricted to follow up. So what these political parties who got ideas from Europe to develop the socialism, these parties were illegally developing. That is, without the knowledge of Tsar, they were developing, spreading their ideas in Russia. So Socialist Democratic Labour Party was formed in 1898. So till 1914 it was not in actual form, it was illegal form. So it struggled to give peasants their rights over land that belonged to nobles. So you know the various group, liberal group, all were wanting equality. They were trying to spread the ideas amongst the people to work for it and demand for it. So they wanted equality in the society, and they wanted to change and bring parliamentary system and establishment of constitution and individual rights, etc. So this kind of socialism was spread from Europe, and this kind of democratic party was formed, and they were illegally practicing. As land was divided among, so we are learning how the society was, hierarchical society only, as you learned in French Revolution. So revolution definition, you know, we are very clear due to French Revolution chapter, and that lesson has taught you what is revolution and what was the system, societal system in France. So same way in Russia also, they had hierarchical system. The land was owned by rich, and they were, the craftsmen, those who are producing in industries, were due to the skill, they were thinking themselves as aristocrats, better than others, and difference were maintained. So as land was divided, you can see that among peasants, periodically, as I told, they brought in together. So socialism was developed amongst the peasants naturally. So this was one of the conditions. Workers would be the main source of the revolution. So peasants were the natural socialists, and socialist ideologists were thinking that peasants can only bring revolution in Russia and not the workers of the industries, because they didn't fight, they didn't make any strikes for their living conditions to solve. So peasants were revolutionary in their ideas, because they used to forcefully grab the land and bring together and share the profits. So ideologists thought that these Russian peasants can be the main force for bringing revolution in Russia. But Lenin, who was the leader of Socialist Democratic Party then, was thinking that only the workers can be the revolutionaries, because peasants were not united. There were rich peasants who did not participate in any revolutionary way. So this was the idea from Lenin's side. So he was debating against this idea that were given by other ideologists. So the party was divided into Bolsheviks and Mensheviks. The Socialist Democratic Party, which was led by Lenin and his other team, were having certain differences in their approach. Lenin was very strict in his norms. He wanted quality members to be in his party. So that's why Bolshevik, he split into Bolshevik party. So it was established as a Bolshevik party, and Menshevik by Julius Martyr. So strength was high in Bolshevik and less in Menshevik, and sometimes it changed also. So this was the split that occurred. You can see Lenin's picture here illustrated, and martyrs. So Vladimir Lenin and martyr Julius Martyr. Now the party was divided, as I said, and here are the other pictures of Julius Martyr. You can see the photographs. He is Julius Martyr and his team, who was broad-minded and allowed everyone to enter. He wanted everyone to be given the recognition, not like Lenin, who was very particular in discipline, and he allowed only the quality members to participate in the party. So the 1905 revolution, you are going to see how these conditions, as I kept on putting forward, these conditions only gave way for 1905 revolution. So what was the forceful situation that made one of the event to the major revolution? That, you know, a series of events only give rise to a change, a big change that happened in French Revolution. Same in Russian Revolution also, events where one by one would have been failure, but they all gave strength for the future. Like even in India, in the nationalist movement, in last year's chapter you learned that how various events gave the strength to the major change as independence of India established. But they were facing failures earlier, but later those stepping stones, failures are the stepping stones. Same way these Russians also saw failures through various events, but later they achieved the revolution. So what is the steps that they came forward, and that is, for one of the thing is 1905 revolution. So this is very important, you can see. This revolution is nothing but a change that was made through various conditions that arise in Russia. Not like before, it changed social conditions and economic conditions of the people of Russia, and that led to one of the event that is called 1905 revolution. So Russia was an autocracy, I said, and it was ruled by Tsar Nicholas II. The Tsar was not at all related to the parliament. He did not encourage parliament or elected body. He was having all the powers and he wanted to continue. Liberals, the other groups who wanted to end this, and they wanted to establish constitution and parliament, and they worked towards demanding the constitution to be established, and that gave way for 1905. This is one of the reasons. So Bloody Sunday, you know that some of the workers were being removed. You must know that they were removed from one Pitlow industry there in Pittsburgh, and that's how this removal of workers led to a strike, but this did not help. And you must know that it was other person who took a procession and led to Tsar Nicholas to bring a solution to the conditions, and that is how you are going to see through that over 1,10,000 workers in St. Petersburg were gathered up and started demanding for reduction in working hours. Procession was led by Father Gapon, an individual who led this procession to the palace, Winter Palace, and they were restricted by police and Cossacks of the government, and over 100 workers were killed and strikes took place, and it was on Sunday, and which resulted into violence and bloody manner. So he is the person that you can see, and that's how I hope that the Constitution Assembly was established and Tsar allowed to the creation of consultative parliament, and it was not permanent. Then and there Tsar started dismissing the constitution. It was called Duma, and within 75 days he kept announced to the second Duma. Like that it kept on being a temporary constitution only, which gave way. So next video you will be learning about the First World War. By this I conclude. I hope you would have enjoyed. So to receive our online lessons, please press the subscribe button and you will receive the latest updates. Thank you.